Hello everybody, this video is on a way to easily win endgames. Now, a lot of you might have seen a position like this in your games online or over the board, or perhaps just reading from a textbook. And here it's quite clear that white's winning. White's got a rook and pawn for a knight, so should, on paper, quite easily win. And as it's white to move, what many of you would do might be just swap off, which is a good idea. Bishop takes, knight takes, and then start, say, advancing with your king and pawn, trying to win, and you should do. Only problem is, it usually takes quite a while. For example, this is a kind of line that could result from it, and it will take quite a bit of effort to slowly nudge your pawn all the way to the end. And it's a very kind of complicated way of winning. It seems to require quite a lot of foresight and tactical ability. And surely there's a simpler way to win. Well, yes, there is. If we go back to the starting position, what I like to do is, if I can swap down to a completely one endgame where I don't even need to think, that's what I like doing. And here, if I could, what I would do would be bishop takes, knight takes, and now I would think, could I just swap my rook for the knight? I know I'm losing material, but it means my opponent has nothing to work with. So the question I'll pose to you is, if I take the knight, can I win in the position that results? Well, let's find out. Rook takes, king takes, king f3, king e6, king e4 or g4, and black could play king f6. And this is not one, this is a draw. So, okay, alright, swapping off didn't seem to work. So does that mean that we're going to have to go all the way back to the beginning? Well, there's a little nuance here in this position which will allow white to win easily. Can you see it? I'll give you 10 seconds to have a look at the position. Well, it's a slight variation on what we've just done. Rook takes d7, and black needs to take with the knight. There is practically no other move. And here, we don't need to take the knight. Black is pinned, so we can leave it for one move and advance with our king. Now, after black moves, then take the knight, and black is a tempo down on the position we studied a second ago. So white can now get the king in front of the pawn. And as long as you can do that and gain and not have black gain the opposition, then white will win. So here, if king f7, white can win here. There's only one move that wins for white. For those of you who know, that's great, and for others, hopefully this will stop you making a mistake and drawing. What's the one move that allows white to win here? Yeah, keep your king in front of the pawn. So king f5, and white has gained the opposition. If it were white to move here, white would draw. But as it's black to move, he or she loses, because the king is forced to give ground. So king e7, black moves left, we move right, up and to the right. So now our king is definitely ahead of the pawn. And if king f8, king f6. And again, if black moves right, we'll move up and left, and if black moves left, up and right. And now the king is protecting, controlling the promotion square. So what we can now do is just chuck the pawn up, queen, and checkmate will soon follow. So I hope you got something from this video. Just to briefly go back and sum up my main point, which is in endgames, sometimes you can just give some of the material back, deliberately lose material to swap off and reach a completely won position. Because if we had just played bishop takes and knight takes, it might have taken a good 10 or 15 moves to get the pawn to the end and then win. It might have taken even longer. But here, with rook takes, knight takes, and moving the king, we then win, well, we reach a completely won king and pawn endgame. And for those of you who know the pattern, there's no thought required here. It's just going off kind of instinct in a way, or just sort of knowing what to do. So it only takes a few seconds to make a move. And black has no defense here. There's no resources, no tactics, no last chance swindles. It's just an easy win. So I hope you liked that video. Comment, leave any questions, subscribe hopefully, and I'll see you in the next video.